Hello and welcome to the Convo Lab. This is the gathering place for conversational collaborations with dynamic women. I am so glad you have tuned in because this is season 2 of the Convo Lab, and I have a super special guest to help us kick off season 2. Chrissy Patrick is here, and she has been my friend for over 20 years. As a matter of fact, if you hear me calling her Christina, it's because I knew her when she was Christina Green. That's her maiden name, and she knew me when I was Kayren Schaffner. That's my maiden name. So, welcome to Chrissy Patrick. Welcome to the Combo Lab. Hey, girl.
Hey girl, how are you?
I'm great. Well, you are here today because I have been asking you to join me for months and months. But last week, you sent me a text. We text all the time. And you were telling me about a weight loss milestone you reached. And I just got really convicted, number one. And after I got convicted, I was like, I need to hear what she's doing to be successful because I personally was not seeing the scale go down. I was like, whatever pounds you have lost, they have found their way from where you are in North Carolina to where I am in Charlotte. And this is not cool. I've got to make some changes. So, Chrissy, tell us about yourself. Tell us about your weight loss journey, please. Welcome.
Thank you. Well, there's not much to tell about me. I'm kind of a simple person. I am an administrative assistant at a church that I work for, and it's Summerfield Peace United Methodist Church. I have one daughter who is 16 years old, and I have a little Chihuahua dog. His name is Bam Bam, and we love him. Where do you want to begin?
Well, what brought you to the place of deciding you were going to make a change?
It was back, I have just recently discovered my old medical chart, so I was able to get all this information. And it was back in November of 2017. I noticed that my legs and feet were swelling really bad. And I had on my left leg, I had a weepy leg. I was retaining so much fluid that my legs started to weep the fluid out. And so that took me to wanting to do a doctor's office visit with Dovine Health. And what woke me up about doing a weight loss journey and getting my life together is they put me on the scale. You know how they take your vitals and all that. So they put me on the scale and I was 285 pounds. And my BMI was up there too. So they put me at severe obesity. So not only that, I had high blood pressure, type 2 diabetic. They diagnosed me with that. I had severe sleep apnea. So there was a lot of things going on to be addressed. And that's what started my realization.
Chrissy, we're women here. And weight, it seems, just creeps up on us. But there are life situations and circumstances that can add pressure to that. Did you experience that? Any emotions or life changes impacted your weight and your health?
Oh, sure. My husband died in 2011. So I'm an emotional eater, and food comforts me when I'm in an emotional state. So there was that. And then after he died, I got into some friendships that weren't so good.
And by that, you mean you gave more than you were receiving from the friendship?
Yes.
Codependency. I know.
Financial and everything.
Oh, wow.
I mean, it was just like, a friend, not guys or anything like that, just a friend, and she made very bad choices in food. Every time we were kind of hanging out as friends, we would go to restaurants. I mean, she would go to a restaurant for breakfast, lunch, and supper. She was always on the go. Um, but financially, that took me down because, eating at a restaurant, you got to have a tip, you got to have, pay for the actual food. So that took a strain on my finances, and it took a strain health wise on me because I did not make the proper choices on the menus. And so that kind of weighed there on that with me.
Wow, Christina. So we've got the friendship that was kind of lopsided. Your friend was influencing you by her negative choices, not only spending a lot of money on eating out, but not making wise food choices while eating out. And it just accumulates, doesn't it?
It does, for sure. And then on top of that, when things would mess up, like housewise or something, I get stressed. So stress was another issue with the food eating because it was based on emotional eating. So there was that.
Well, honey, they say that people who live in glass houses shouldn't throw stones. I tell you what, I ain't got near stone to throw at anybody because just this past week I found a fantabulous recipe for this no-bake pineapple cheesecake. And so I called myself, I was justifying that it's okay because I'm using low-fat cream cheese and no sugar added Cool Whip and crushed pineapple. Pineapple's a fruit. And, in a graham cracker crust, I'm going to be honest, I ate half of the pie. And then, not only that, see, if I was just sanitizing this for recording, I'd say, I ate half the pie. Oops. And I repented. I ate half the pie. I repented and I made it again in the same week and did the same thing and talked to my nutritionist today about it. And so tell me some things that you have done that have helped you to be successful in breaking out of those habits that are familiar and comfortable, but do not lead to the path of life.
Right.
Help me out and help us out here on the Convo Lab, sister.
I will. I had a good friend. Her name is Cindy Goldfarb. She is no longer with us. She has completed her race. She's in heaven with Jesus. But she was a mentor to me in the weight loss area. She had lost over 100 pounds, I think, and then some. So she was inspirational to me. She helped me a lot. Knowledge is power. So the more you know, the better off you'll be. I just started researching ways to lower blood sugar. What foods helped you lower blood sugar, lower blood pressure. I did that. And then if we went out to eat or whatever, I took a half a cup measuring cup with me. And I measured out half a cup of each thing that I ordered and asked for a to-go box and put the rest in to-go box. So I ate what I measured out. And I had the to-go box. Don't eat it that night. Wait till the next day to have it. And I found a website. I'm not sure if it's currently still available. It's called sparkpeople.com.
I think it is.
That's where I started recording my food intake.
And that was free, right?
Yes. At the time it was.
Okay.
And I don't know if it is now. But they have all kinds of recipes on there. They have exercise videos and things like that. So I just kept recording my intake, keeping underneath the calories. I think I was calories was like 1,200 or something like that for me. So I started losing the weight just by gradually changing everything, watching what I ate, how much I ate, how I fixed it, like the
Because
oils.
we're in the South, so you're saying that you put away some of that frying stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Started putting in the oven, baking it, instead, or grilling and broiling. And I stayed away from a lot of red meat and kind of just ate like fish and chicken, tuna. And, I lessened my carbs. The bread is major for me. That's my weakness. And the sweets.
Mm.
I had to watch the sweets because my A1C when I first started out was 8.5%, and that's way over what they recommend it to be. And my last doctor's appointment that I was at was August 17th, 2018. My A1C was 5.4, and I weighed 229 pounds. So that started me off on my journey.
That is amazing. Now, so you're saying that this was a journey that was over a course of like what, 2 years or three?
Oh yeah. Yeah. A lot
Don't
of
make me
years.
count, but so
Yeah.
you started in 2018 or you
Yeah.
started in 2017?
2017.
And you mentioned mentoring and support.
Mm-hmm.
And you also said that knowledge is power. Now I'm
Mm-hmm.
gonna just be straight up with you because I need some help.
Yeah.
I have accountability partners. I have knowledge because, you and I have talked about, changing habits and making better food choices over the years. What made the difference for you? I have the information. What was that light bulb moment for you that you said, I can't keep doing this, going 2 steps forward and 10 steps back?
It was just literally a God thing. God just woke me up. It's like, girl, you're digging your own grave. You need to get out of it. So once I started listening to God and hearing his voice and what he was trying to tell me through everything, that's when my wake up call was. That's when the light went off. I said, okay, I've got to start listening. I got to quit being stubborn. I got to quit trying to do it in my own way. I got to let God help me with this. And it wasn't long after that when I sit and did that the Lord showed me more of how to do things. And to listen to what others were telling me to do and just do it.
Wow. So what I'm hearing is the first step is humbling myself and realizing that I can't do it alone. I
Correct.
definitely need God's help. I feel like I've done that so many times. I've started so many times. Here I am today. What do you tell me on the starting?
Believe me, I understand because I've started over 20 million times myself. You just got to say, God, forgive me. I need to pick up where I left off and then just keep going forward. Don't look back.
I love it. Convo Lab viewers, if you want more of Chrissy, she has an amazing blog where she shares her insights and her conversations with the Lord at refurbishedbygrace.wordpress.com. I encourage you to go check it out, to subscribe, follow, leave her a comment because she's one of my favorite creatives. And straight, transparent, what you see is what you get. Check her out. The blog is all that and then some. And Chrissy, I believe you're going to be posting some before and after pictures showing your progress in this weight
Yes,
loss
ma'am.
journey. And how do you refer to it? Because it's not just about weight loss, it's lifestyle change, choices. How do you frame it?
Well, we were talking about the Bible verse, you and me, this week about Hebrews 12:1. It says, "Wherefore, seeing we also are compassed about with so great a cloud of witnesses, let us lay aside every weight and the sin of which doth so easily beset us, and let us run with patience the race that is set before us." So that's the way I look at it. It's a journey to win the race. It's a journey to lighten my load so I can run the race with endurance that God has, run the race that God has purpose for me to run with endurance, with a lightened load. And that's the way I look at it.
Wow. Run the race with a lightened load. That's deep, girl, because if we're trying to run with a bag and a purse and a backpack and everybody else's issues and stuff, we're not running.
And that's it. We're
And then
being
we
bogged
get
down.
upset because it's like, I'm not making progress. And then we're trying to help everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
And we're stuck.
You get your focus off of you. Exactly. You
Come
get
on.
your focus
You're
off of
preaching to
you.
somebody on here. Come on, tell me more, because you had to let go of those codependent relationships.
Mm-hmm.
You had to let go of some financial spending that was not helping you and your family. And then food followed, right? After
Mm-hmm.
that.
Mm-hmm.
So it's all kind of wrapped up together, but you got to just take one step at a time.
One step at a time, letting go of everything that is weight to you. Anything negative that affects your mind, soul, and body, which includes your physical weight as well. So it's everything. It's mind, soul, body, spiritual, physical, mental. So anything that's unnecessary weight, you need to let it go.
Wow. What do you say to people who say, I'm too busy. I know what I need to do, but I don't have time to, it's just easier to run through the drive-through instead of plan a healthy meal and cook it at home.
The only thing I can say is you got to make time. There's no way around it. You got to set aside a little bit of time, 5, 10, 30 minutes each day to work on you.
And it sounds to me like you have made some progress in the area of self-care.
I have. I'm actually currently in a weight loss challenge with a couple of my friends. We started it a few weeks ago, and Easter was supposed to be our end of the challenge, but we continued it to Mother's Day. So that actually helps if you find groups like that to help you. That's a good thing to do. So with all of that, at the start of the challenge, I was at 256. That's where I started at. That's where I'm at right now. So I just recently weighed myself the other day, and I'm at 246. I have lost 10 pounds.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
I have gained 10 pounds. So I'm like, how you do that? One less bite at a time.
And resisting temptation.
That's good. Wow. Yeah, I think I had gotten really hopeless. When I saw your text come in, I was feeling pretty low that day. And I reached out to you for some support. I was like, look, I'm on the downward slide and I don't know how much lower I could have gone, because after half a pie, I mean, what? Like, I'll go take a walk. But we do have to start. And so actually, you inspired me, and I did join a gym last week because I was like, I can't keep making excuses. That's all I was doing, was like, oh, well, and I felt myself getting stiffer and moving slower and getting bigger. And I was like, I can't afford this. It's almost like charging on a credit card and you're over limit. And it's like, I can't pay this off.
Yeah, I had joined the gym. My friend Cindy, the one that passed away that I was talking about earlier, she was going to a gym close by around here, and she kept trying to encourage me to join. I haven't been in a long time due to COVID and and everything like that. So I'll probably need to get back into that at some point in the road, or find ways to exercise at home. And so that really helped me because I have a good friend there. He's a coach there. His name's Mikhail, and shout out to Mikhail.
Woo-hoo.
And he helped me do a exercise routine, create that, so that way when I knew I would come in, I could get right to that exercise, and I would record each exercise, and I would just check it off. I make a list of what I had to do, like if I had to do 10 planks, or weight lift 10 pounds, reps and things. So I would just make my list, and I would just check it off every time I would get something done, and my time was done. It's like I go in there and I get focused and get done, and next thing I know, I'm just out. So it's, once you get into the routine of it, it's pretty easy and good.
You are absolutely right, because I was doing a great job during the pandemic. I had neighbors who we would get together and keep each other encouraged, and we would walk and pray, or walk and just share wisdom with one another. It was great. But then our schedules started not meshing, and I allowed that to be an excuse for not continuing it. Then my attention span, I was like, oh, well, I have so many other things to do. I know. And it was 2 months that went by. I was like, oh, it's cold. Oh, it's rainy. And then when it stopped being cold and rainy, I didn't get back into the routine. So that's why I'm a social person, and I realized that, okay, I am not walking by myself. It is free to walk in my neighborhood. I should, but since I'm not, let's get this jump started. And I'm taking a group class at the gym, and it was 3 people in the class the last time. So I felt very, safe and socially distanced, but I was like, I got to get rid of the excuses. And your text last week said it was about mindset. So for the person who is dealing with going back and forth, what do you say to them to make a decision to start today for their health?
I would say, I would tell them to quit looking around to their circumstances. Throw off all the negative stuff. Focus on you. Focus on how blessed you are. Think of the others that love you so much that they want to be with you for many years of your life. And do it for them.
Take your time. That's powerful.
Sorry.
No apologies, because these weighty matters, as I entitled this episode, it goes beyond standing on a scale. It's very much intertwined with emotions and stress and our relationships, or lack thereof. I mean, people in our family can push our buttons. Wow. Yeah. And food doesn't talk back. It only speaks words of love. It's like, you love me. But it's not helping. It's not helping in the long run. So you're telling us to prioritize ourselves, because in the plan of God, each and every one of us is important.
Yes.
And
we have purpose. We're not mistakes.
No. Come on, talk to us, girl.
God created each and every one of us to be on earth as we are now. He didn't make mistakes. He never makes mistakes. We are purposed on earth to live the life that we need to live for Him in His glory. We are called according to His purpose. when he calls us, he equips us.
Mm.
He gives us everything we need. So I'm asking you to throw off all the negative stuff, leave it behind. There's a verse, I'm not sure exactly where it said, but it says, forgetting all of everything in behind me, forget it, let it go, and to look to the things that are in front of you and keep looking forward and to run the race that you are called to run. Don't give up. There is hope.
Thank you, Chrissy. That is so powerful. There is hope. And I felt that by you reaching out to me to share your story via text, and you shared your photos, and you being hopeful and making progress gave me hope. And that's the thing. We are in relationship one with another. We're here in the body of Christ. No man is an island. We are not by ourselves to do life by ourselves. We are meant to support one another. So I might have some strength in one area, but I need your support in another. And through the years, we have experienced that.
Yes, ma'am.
Life just happens, and yet we must keep going.
We must.
And I love what you said about people depending on us. We really minimize that. It's like, oh, they'll be fine. No,
We take it for granted.
we do. And I'm amazed. You have a daughter who's 16. My daughter is turning 17 in a week. And where did the time go? We knew
I
each other
know.
when? Before we were married, before we had children. And life does change. Let's not even talk about the bodily changes that mothers deal with, okay? My
Yep.
children are teenagers and I still have their house on my stomach. I don't even think that I have an issue with my stomach. It's other parts because I'm like, unless I get some external assistance extracting that, it probably ain't going anywhere. But that's still not an excuse not to start because I want my
That's right.
arms to be glamorous and sexy, and I want my blood pressure to be better.
Because
So,
you know what? When you
what?
start, God restores.
Hallelujah.
When you start on your journey, God
Mm.
is a 100% guarantee. God is so good and so faithful to you that when you begin your journey, He will, long as you trust and rely on Him, He will reward you and restore you.
Wow. Now that is full of hope. I don't have to depend on me and my inconsistent self. I can depend on our Savior
Mm.
who died, was buried, and rose again. He's got
Amen.
a track record. You are absolutely right. And I thank you for that reminder for me and the whole Convo Lab audience, because we need to remember who we serve and that He has all power in His hand. So it is not a light thing for Him to be able to change us, to transform us.
Every area, weight loss, physical, mental, all aspect of your life, down to little bitty minute details.
He cares.
He does.
And that's why your blog is called Refurbished by Grace. I love
Yes.
it. I'm telling you, Convo Lab, y'all need to follow Chrissy's blog at refurbishedbygrace.wordpress.com. If you have enjoyed this interview, get more of her writing where she shares her heart, her soul, her spirit, and her weight loss journey and her progress towards a healthier lifestyle. Christina, I thank you so much for joining me here today. You have given me hope and encouragement, and I know that the Convo Lab audience is delighted to be here with you. I'll give you any last remarks you would like to share with us?
My last remark is it's found in Psalm 121. I will lift up my eyes to the hills from whence cometh my help. Don't be afraid to ask for help from God, because He will supply it.
Amen. Chrissy, thank you. Thank you. A million times thank you. Well, Convo Lab, I would say that we have kicked off season 2 with Weighty Matters. And not only do you need to follow Chrissy's blog, I would love for you to subscribe to hear from me. Follow me at KayrenCathcart.com, as well as you can like, share, and subscribe to my YouTube channel, where you will be the first to know when the Convo Lab goes live. So thank you for being here today. Thank you to Christina, Chrissy Patrick, and thank you for the Convo Lab. I appreciate you being here. I appreciate you watching and sharing this message with someone in your life who just might need it. Appearances can be deceptive. People who you think have it all together and seem to be okay, take the time to reach out to your friend. Ask them, really, how are you doing? How can I help support you? That's what a conversational collaboration is all about. Until the next time, this is Kayren Cathcart signing off of the Convo Lab. I will see you next time. Be abundantly blessed.